garden is starting to look like a garden again. I'm still gonna plant pumpkins in those 2 rows there. I've got my row of tomato plants that I started in the greenhouse. My row of peppers. Started some of those in the greenhouse, bought a couple of them since the mice kept eating the seedlings, the seeds. That row is empty right now, but I will be putting winter squash or something in it. And you can't see them real great. I need to replant the half that washed out, but I've got 2 rows of black-eyed peas. Kind of see them there. And then I've got snow peas. I've got a row of snow peas and a row of Alaska bush peas. And then I planted in the garden today my cucumbers. The ones that are sprouted are the ones I started in the greenhouse, and I planted seeds as well. I want to see which ones come up better. And then I've got my squash, which is the zucchini and the summer squash. And then I planted watermelon seeds, and then the very last row are going to be the cantaloupes. And I started all those in the greenhouse too. So hopefully everything's not going to be too shocked. We do have a storm. I started this last night and ran out of daylight, and today it was supposed to rain all day. Thank you, Lord, for a beautiful Easter day, and I got most of the garden done. So, a few more things left to do. I need to put up the rest of my tomato baskets and my vine trellises, and then you just water this puppy and watch it grow. Hope you all had a great Easter, and remember the reason for the day, not just fun coloring eggs and hunting Easter eggs, but the true meaning for Easter, and that you're blessed in that knowledge. Have a great one, y'all. Looks like we did okay after the heavy rain last night. I was expecting several days of rain, so I'm really glad that today was a reprieve to let it dry up a little bit. We had a little bit of washing out toward the ends here, but I was able to stuff those plants down in a little bit further today. I went ahead and planted my row of pumpkins there. Haven't decided what I'm going to put on this row yet. But come over here, and the tomatoes did okay. The peppers, I had to cover up a few of the tomatoes down on that far end. The peppers are looking great. A couple of them laying over down toward the end, but I think that's to be expected with some of the shock, transplant shock. I did go through before starting to plant all this, and I sprayed in between each row where you see the grass is growing. So I sprayed, supposed to be garden safe grass killer. Hopefully it'll take care of all these weeds. And then in my half barrels, I'm going to partially bury them in the ground and then try putting my rhubarb plants in them. I tried it last year and I didn't bury them at all, and they just baked, and I think half the problem was they weren't getting watered like I thought they would in the corners. But anyway, we're trying again this year. So back to this, the peppers did okay. I just now planted some winter squash or spaghetti squash in this row, and like I said, I sprayed all this grass. Hopefully it was on there long enough before the rain to do some good. We'll start seeing some of this grass die in the next couple days. But there is a row right there of black-eyed peas and a row right there, black-eyed peas. And then I've got some sugar snap peas. This row washed out after we planted it, and I'm just gonna have to replant that part by hand probably tomorrow. And same thing with this one. Those are Alaska bush peas, and I had started putting trellises up right there, but then I remembered, oh, those are bush peas, so I shouldn't need them. So I'll move those trellises over onto the black-eyed peas. And everything else seems to be in pretty good shape after all that heavy rain. Over on that far corner over there, it's the lowest spot of the garden, and we had some running going on over there, but the plants are still intact. So that cantaloupe row over there looks good. Then we've got the watermelon row right here, all planted from seed. Got the squash, and gosh, now I can't remember what all I put here. Anyway, maybe moving the garden to rows this way will make a difference on this little hill. The past 2 years we've done it long ways up and down the full length, and things just stayed drowned because it wouldn't drain. We tried bigger rows, planting on mounds, and that didn't work. We had 1 year of really good black-eyed peas, and haven't really gotten too much of anything else from my gardening attempt here. Fingers crossed we'll get something going this year. I hope I'm not running too late. Of course, there's never as much time as you hope for during the day. And I went and checked on that field over there. We do have corn coming up and pinto beans over in that fenced in area over there. And I moved my birdhouse up onto the hill right here. It was attracting birds to poop on our vehicles with it being set up over there by the cabin. I always thought that'd be a great idea to have a birdhouse where I can watch it from the porch, but it was a nightmare because the birds like to fly from the birdhouse to the window. The side view mirrors on the vehicles, my Jeep and the truck, were just getting hammered every day. I was afraid it was going to ruin the paint. Anywho, turned out to be a beautiful day here on Yolo Ranch.